Hello, it's Raven from the Expressive Therapies department at Vallejo. I'm an art therapist, and today I'll be talking about nature weavings. So, what I got going on right here is I went out and found a branch, which wasn't too hard since we had that lovely storm earlier this week. And I have been working on wrapping. So, some of the benefits of nature weaving is to get back out and see art materials is what's around you. So if you have, you don't have the ability to go out shopping or, the extra funds to have, big like sculptural type art materials just lying around to work on at home, you can always look outside because there's an abundance of free materials if you look at doing nature stuff. So there are usually pine cones, there's branches all around, you can dry leaves, you can incorporate fresh leaves into your weaving, and however you just decide to display it, you can hang it up on the wall or and incorporate and watch the leaves kind of go through the process of drying. You can use dried flowers in these natural weavings. They make real fun wall hangings. Usually I have one in my office that's like this. It's not quite as scarecrowy like this, but this is the material I got. So I've been working ahead of time. Didn't have time to show the full process and kind of go through the different things, but we can just talk about some of the natural materials that we have here. So you can use either fresh branch. Like I said, this one was a casualty of the storm. You can also use dry branches. Drier branches can be more readily available because you just go out there and you have a stick pile and you can find them. But with dry branches, any of these small type of limbs, or I guess these aren't limbs, these little twigs on here, if you put too much pressure, they'll snap off. So as you're wrapping, you can kind of get, lose some of the grips that you were thinking you were going to be able to work with. So being able to be gentle with the materials is very important when you're working with dry materials. Now, I'm working with kind of a fresher stick, so I can actually bend it down and create a little bend in it. And as it dries in the process, it'll hold that bend. So that's what I'm going to work on doing, is kind of getting a nice bend here, making a little encapsulated spot. So I'm getting some yarn to start the bend process. And the wonderful thing about making these things, as you can tell, they don't have to be pretty. It's just about how you feel when you're working on it. A lot of time, people think that art has to be a product that can be something that can be sold or shown somewhere, but really art can be whatever you want, and it's more about how you felt while working on it. So okay, starting to get that tension. I was getting kind of like a cat's cradle going on. So getting that bend in there. Don't know about you, even though I'm an art therapist, I often find myself not spending a whole lot of time making art just for myself. And being someone who has a degree in studio art, I find it kind of interesting that I now, as a professional who works with art materials all the time, actually do not make a whole lot of art. One of my favorite processes, though, to go out that's relaxing is to find natural materials or even use my houseplants and the way I position them in my home to kind of just get the right balance of and composition of plants as well. So using natural materials is something that when I do make art for myself or focusing on it, I find myself drawn to. Oops. Didn't tie that in a strong enough knot. So this could be also good if there are crafty people out there who want to have kind of a special touch to a wedding or having any kind of like wedding decorations. You can make a lot of things using natural materials. Actually, a friend of mine, we spent a lot of time gathering natural materials and just creating a lot of things for her wedding, and it was very fun. Much enjoyable times had then. There we go. Look at that bend. That's some nice bending. So right now, like as I'm showing you this, it's more just me playing, having fun with the material, seeing what I can do. I don't really have as much time to just show a full process that would be something I would hang anywhere. This one will probably be just something I experiment with, see kind of like the bending process and how it dries, and then take that experience and put it into more use for a project that I'll spend a little more time on, or a personal project. So I'm just gonna put that there. So we got a nice bend here going on. And another thing about using kind of more freshly branches is that you could actually make a dream catcher from this. I'm not really good at doing dream catchers myself. It takes practice, but I've been teaching myself. Using the fresher branches, you can bend either in kind of a triangle type shape or almost like a kind of a soft edged circle, and make a really cool natural dream catcher from that instead of relying on either plastic, metal, hoops. So got that going on here. So I'm gonna dig around in the last little bit of time I got, see what other materials that I can add, just to add a little bit of contrast and color. So I thought, as I was over there, that I would incorporate my little worry doll slash kind of plant spirit doll that I made. Make her a little home. So, ta-da! So these are kind of the things that you can do. You can make your whole little village of little friends to hang around and build these cool structures. You can make little houses for them using these nature weaving techniques. So it'd be pretty fun. This one not quite there, but you know, someday maybe. Okay, well, thank you for learning about nature weavings with me. Yeah, if you have any questions, just add a comment. We'll get around to answering them too. And if you'd like to know more or see a longer process, just comment and let us know.